No ladies and all gentlemen. Good evening, I didn't hear. Good evening. That's good. So what do you want me to do? I am not a presenter.
Make money for us.
मैं presenter नहीं हूँ. I have never conducted a workshop like this. For all my friends who are sitting here, my request to you is please don't leave. अगर आप चले जाओगे तो मुझे कौन सुनेगा? Before we begin, how many of you have actually seen an opera? You know what's an opera? How many of you have seen an opera? Okay, you've seen in movies. Have you seen videos of opera?
Yeah.
Look something like this, right? And what is the best way to see an opera?
While sleeping.
So if I find any of you sleeping here, then I am going to do one thing. I am going to ask my friends at the back to pour a jug of water on you so that everyone else is waking up.
You should be awake, na?
Sorry?
You should be awake.
I am awake.
Then the fellow behind should be awake.
Alright. The topic for today is swear by the deep sea. Now, what do you mean by swear by the deep sea? Anyone has heard between the devil and the deep blue sea? Has anyone heard that?
Yeah, everybody.
Everybody has heard that. Between the devil and deep blue sea, what do you think is the actual meaning of that phrase? Anyone? No clue at all. What is the meaning of between the devil and the deep blue sea?
Girlfriend and wife.
Girlfriend and wife, yeah, that could be one. How many of you have heard a known devil is better than an unknown angel?
Yes. Yes.
How many of you believe that's true? Please raise your hands. How many of you believe that's true? Alright. How many of you believe that's incorrect? Raise your hands. Nobody. Oh, he believes it. How many of you in the room will not raise their hand no matter what option I give you?
Many times we don't have opinion.
No comments.
Okay. Now, how many of you have seen this? How many of you have seen this? What is the meaning of this? Anyone? Cheating? Okay. What else?
When your options are over, you have to think into the options.
That's right. That's very right.
Create a new path.
Sorry?
Create a new path.
Break the rules. Break the rules. Whatever rules that are popularly known, you will only go to a certain extent because everyone else in the room is going to follow the same rules. So if you want to go beyond them, you have to break the rules. You have to think outside of the box. Devil. Now this is something we know. And still people want to choose devil. They want to embrace devil. अगर आप जानते हो कि डेविल को पकड़ने से वो एक न एक दिन आपको खा जाएगा, तो why devil? For all the people over here who raise their hands, a known devil is better than an unknown angel. Please understand, the devil is there. Eventually, it's going to eat you up. So do you want to still select devil? How many of you still want to select the devil? This is you and this is the devil. I hope it's clear what is there. Nobody wants to raise their hands. I said, nobody wants to raise their hands no matter what option I give them. What? Okay, now let's say what Mae West has to say. Can you read out? Can you read out?
Yeah, when choosing between two evils, I always like to try the one I never tried.
How many people understand and believe in this? You already have trusted the devil. It has eaten you up. It has chewed you up. It's left you with nothing. So why don't you try another evil? Why don't you try another evil? The deep blue sea. Why not for once do you want to try deep blue sea? Any answers? Can I get any answers?
Fear of the unknown.
Fear of the unknown. Okay. What else?
Comfort zone.
Comfort zone. That's very right.
With the
Okay.
existing devil.
Sorry?
Comfort zone with the existing devil.
With the existing level. Yeah, somebody said wife के साथ बहुत comfortable है.
No choice.
क्या हुआ?
Started thinking out of the box.
Swear by the deep sea is story of, it's a real life story of one of the system integrators. His name is Rakesh. Obviously I can't give his real name out here because who knows, he may be one of you. Rakesh runs a company by the name Rambotech. Anyone knows what is this Rambotech? Rakesh Mohan Borkar. So he is in the business of system integration. Can I know what is system integration business? What is an SI's business? क्या क्या करते हैं SI? Let me ask you. Chetan?
Assemble PC.
Motherboard डालो, RAM डालो. System building. Is that what you mean? Chetan, what about you? Maintaining systems. Okay. AMCs? Alright. Jitin? Sorry? Providing solution. Solution providing. Okay, solution यानी alcohol, juice, IT solutions. That's great. Okay.
Sell what is not
Jitin,
required to be sold.
any suggestions? What is the business of an SI?
Solution integration.
Solution integrating, which means combining different offerings from different companies and presenting them as one integrated solution, right? That's system integration. Yes, a very fantastic definition. Vivek?
I guess I agree with it. Basically,
Okay, you just agree with me. Alright, let me done this.
Please.
Copy paste. We all in IT know one thing very well, copy paste. Facebook पे भी मैं वही देखता हूँ. एक बंदे ने कुछ पोस्ट किया, सब लोग वही पोस्ट करेंगे. Who will write? Okay, so SI business. Is this the part of SI business? Did anyone think of sales and marketing, finance and accounts, manpower and training, statutory compliances? अग्रवाल किधर है? उसको बोलना पड़ेगा. हाँ. Where is this? I mean, these people didn't even understand accounts and finance is a part of their business. They didn't understand anything about marketing. I think we'll have to call you again.
After screwdriver technology.
Alright, so you mean to say somebody has to screw the driver in or drive the screw in your brain to understand these things?
Not in the brain.
Great, we'll try doing it next time. So this is it. Can anyone find something which is beyond this, out of this box? Anyone? If I am coming in between you and the screen, you can ask me to move on. No?
Research and development.
Research and development.
Leasing, hiring.
Leasing, hiring. Okay, fantastic. In the next, next time I do this presentation to you, assuming you people are there in the room, we'll put those two things here. Alright, so what is SI business? You answered what is SI, system integration. What about business? Anyone would like to tell me what is the meaning of business?
Trade. Make money. Trade.
The thing which keeps you busy. Fantastic. I love that definition. But let's see what Macmillan has to say. What Macmillan Dictionary has to say is an organization that buys or sells products or services for money. I think only Ravi answered that as money.
Exchange of commerce.
Alright. There is another definition which is similar from Oxford Dictionary. And there is another definition which is quite similar by Cambridge Dictionary. The activity of buying and selling goods and services or a particular company that does this or work to earn money. Work you do to earn money. So this is the business of SI, right? Are you sure there is nothing else except the two things, R&D and leasing? to make money. So profit is not a four-letter word. Why did nobody think about that? I think किसी ने कहा यहाँ पर कि I mean you are doing business for time pass, to keep yourself occupied. How many of you are in business to keep yourself occupied? Do you know what is profit? A financial gain, especially the difference between the amount earned and amount spent in buying, operating or producing something. And producing doesn't include kids. There is no profit there. That's exactly what I wanted to do. That's loss leader. It leads you to a loss. So profit is the difference between revenue and expense. And whoever who's in business to make profit is an entrepreneur. Or, like Ted Turner of CNN once famously said, my son is now an entrepreneur, that's what you are called when you don't have a job. How many of you here are in business because they didn't get a job? How many of you have remained in business because you can't get a job? Are you in business for time pass? Rembotech was not in business for time pass. He was an engineer, a qualified engineer. He could get a job. He can still get a job. Rembotech is a system integration company. That is our typical small to medium size SIs. Established in 98, 14 years, 1200 systems under AMC, support, whatever. Staff of 18. Can everyone read? Average number of calls per month 600 and sites under FM 3. FM is not a radio station. Facility management. His business verticals are only 4. He focuses on 4 things. AMC, deployment of servers and systems. On-call services. On-call services is when you do not have a contract with someone and he still calls you. A service version of somebody walking into your retail store and asking for a keyboard or mouse. That's what is on-call services. And FM, which is facility management. Now, service business revenues. AMC of 900 systems at around rupees 2,000 each. This was his revenue before he evolved into what he has become. Before he swore by the deep sea. Right, so his AMC revenue at that point of time was 18 lakhs. His FM revenues paid him about 4,20,000 a year. Deployment services, deployment of systems, servers was 3.5 lakhs, and on-call revenues, what we call as chiller business, that was about 2.5 lakhs. His total revenue, 28,20,000. Now, one of the tests of leadership is the ability to recognize a problem before it becomes an emergency. Yeah. And Rakesh was a leader. So what does Rakesh do? He lists down the challenges that he has continuing doing business. Can't afford manpower. अगर trained manpower है, तो he can't afford it. He cannot afford to train the manpower which is half-baked. Cannot afford industry standard salaries. Now industry standard salaries means what? Not what we pay, not our IT support industry standard price salaries. How many of you have come across a situation when you had an engineer who you were paying 10,000, 9,000 and he got a job with some other company at 15,000, 20,000 as an FM engineer? How many?
Everybody.
All of us, I guess. Yes? All of us. So industry standard salaries is what we are not paying. Let's accept it. We are exploiting our manpower. Obviously, we are plagued by attrition. If you pay peanuts, all you will get is monkeys. And they will treat you like monkeys. Own earnings are meager. Now what is this own earnings are meager? Rakesh was not earning as much as he should. Any of the guys here feel that they are not earning as much as they should, the amount of work they are putting in, the amount of talent they have, the amount of genius they have? I guess there are 5 people over there, they are getting more than what they deserve.
Ambani will also say the same. He's earning less. So don't ask this question.
So become Ambani and then say this. Alright, so the reason why he feels his salary is meager, you are talking of Anil Ambani or Mukesh Ambani?
Both of them.
Anil के पास reason है, Mukesh ज़्यादा कमाता है. Anil, Mukesh. So Anil Ambani के पास reason है और राकेश के पास वही reason था. The people who were studying with him, the people with whom he graduated, his batchmates, his project partner in final year engineering, Vinod, they are all in big corporations. Big corporates as most of them are abroad. They are VPs, presidents of companies, directors. And Vinod, his project partner, is making $325,000 a year and heading a corporation in US. Now imagine राकेश की क्या हालत होगी. जब दोस्त फेल होता है तो दुख होता है और जब दोस्त टॉप पोजीशन पे होता है तो बहुत दुख होता है. How many of you have seen 3 Idiots? So ऐसा लगता है आपको किसी को? Rakesh's perspective was he is not getting anywhere. He is not getting anywhere. And he doesn't seem to be going anywhere. He's been in business for 14 years, last 10 years he has been stagnating. The same story every one of us feels. Most of us feel. Yeah, particularly people who are into classic businesses feel that, the amount of effort you are putting in and the amount of the amount of power that you use to run ahead, you're just running on the treadmill. Wahin ke wahin par ho aap. If one does not know which port one is sailing to, no wind is favorable. Rakesh knew that he was heading somewhere, but he hadn't got there yet. There are only 2 ways to reach where you want to reach. One, you are out of business. Other, you are so successful that you get into philanthropy. Facts are the enemy of truth. But to know the truth, he had to know the facts. And to know the facts, he had to delve into numbers. An engineer doesn't like to delve into numbers. How many of us have experienced it? I have. Yeah, I see a few raise of hands even before I finished my statement. So what he does is, he lists down all the costs that he has. Now, obviously this would be difficult for you guys to read, but he's put in infrastructure, operational expenses, equipment and maintenance expenses, consumables, unplanned expenses, accounts and administration, customer manager, the guy who is the front-facing man for all his customers, senior engineer salaries, and the number of people, mid-level engineers, junior engineers, facility or peons, and this is what he came to. When he converted into a P&L kind of statement, he came to this. The total expense of the company, 23 lakhs a year. Under normal circumstances, everyone would do a devil's calculation. 22 lakh 71,000 odd is cost of running business, 28 lakh 20,000 rupees gross revenues, and what you earn is 5.5 lakhs. 5.5 lakhs? कहाँ $325,000 और कहाँ पर 5.5 lakhs? So what does a devil do? Whatever the selling price is, he multiplies it by, suppose if he wants to make 12 lakhs a year. So he will add that much amount in 28-20 and raise the prices across the board by that much money. 10%, 15%, 20%, do your own calculation. That's a devil's way of working. This is what Albert Einstein said. The significant problems we face cannot be solved at the same level of thinking we were when we created them. So you will have to think different, think out of the box. Higher level of thinking. And that he does using the deep blue sea method. And what does he do? He takes charge of all his verticals and he does an analysis, cost analysis of each of them. He takes an expert help. He couldn't do it himself, so he takes help of somebody like our financial wizard, a CFO, virtual CFO, and he gets into an analysis of AMC. And what does he find? Revenue 18 lakhs and expenses 17 lakhs. ये treasure जो नीचे पड़ा है ना, there is a treasure over there. Can you see? Treasure chest. This is all gold. He went to collect the treasure. If you find out, please tell me. I'll go first. So he went to collect the treasure chest, and he found the shock of his life.
Kshitij, how
Yes.
does that 18 lakhs revenue come into?
Sorry?
Expenses are not only for.
We'll come to that. We'll definitely come to that. His revenue was 18 lakhs and his cost of running AMC business was 17 lakhs. Now, tell me, if you come to know this, what will happen to you? The thing that you thought is your cash cow, yes, something that you thought is a staple business, I mean, I've got 30% margin, 40% margin. When you realize at the end of doing this kind of calculation that you are making only 1 lakh on 18 lakhs worth of services that you are providing, what would happen to you? Sorry? So, we are going to give you tools. So that you can figure out what your cash cow is doing, whether it is giving you milk or it is milking you. Tools that can actually make you compute your own cost of AMC services. Somebody asked for a standard AMC chart, right? Alright, we'll come to that. What is it that you feel? I mean, somewhere any of you feels threatened or worried that maybe his cost is also similar? Shattered. Oh, okay. Fantastic.
He's
So
shattering.
do you want somebody to help you with stick fast? No, I would be shattered too. I mean, jokes apart, I would be shattered too. Rakesh was shattered, and like our dear friend Vinod said, I mean, even he thought of, I mean, aaj to gum mein something, I mean, maikane and paikane and whatever.
आज का fix हो गया program.
Sorry. Okay. So, in fact, if you want to evolve your cash cow into something that is giving you a lot of good milk, you better use the tools that we give you. But what happened to Rakesh? He was shocked. What he thought was his bread and butter was giving him only crumbs, peanuts. Cash cow giving peanuts. You have to be a nut to expect peanuts from a cash cow. The only reason why he continued doing that business and why he thought that he is making money is because he was getting all the money in advance. That too, not the FM money. Not the FM money. So there is not FM, there is AMC. He was getting all the money in advance, so he thought, I mean, bahut paisa ban raha hai, no issues. This answers your question. Give a man a fish and he will eat for a day. Teach a man to fish and he will eat for a lifetime. We are going to give you tools that will help you evolve your AMC business into the cash cow that you thought it is and the cash cow you want it to be. Right? Please use those tools. I'll tell you about that later. Then he did the vertical analysis for deployment. Deployment, expenses 1,40,000, revenue 3,50,000. Looks good? Looks good?
Yes.
Revenues look good? No. No. Revenues look good, but it is bleeding his AMC business. You know why? Anyone can answer me why? Anyone? Anyone? Yes, please.
The expenses have not been proportionately distributed, I think.
No, they have been proportionally distributed.
You saw a
till
lot
same
of
time.
heads under which you've written zero over there.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll come back to
For
that.
deployment is HR.
Marketing.
For
Marketing.
HR expenses for deployment is zero.
HR and administration expenses for deployment were zero for his company. The way he had classified it, it was zero. Okay? This is not something that I have created. This is something that I have got from Rakesh, and I don't want to name who Rakesh is. He was in this situation two years, 3 months, 4 months ago, when he almost decided to quit the industry when he came to know these things. And today, he's making money and he looks enthusiastic about the future. More positive than I am. So these are not cooked up figures, these are the figures that I have received from him. Alright? His basis of deployment price computation was something different. How do you deploy, how do you count your cost of deployment? Anyone? Manish? How do you count your cost of deployment of servers, systems?
9 hours.
Engineer cost. Okay. And yeah, the cost of time. Cost of time. Exactly. That's what Rakesh also did. What he forgot was when he is deploying the server, the customer is not taking the server deployment from him. He is taking the continuous availability, business continuous protection from him. He wants his business continues to happen. He wants service. If there is a breakdown, his billing stops, his sales stops, his quotation stop, his account stop, his inventory doesn't go out of the door. So that has to be serviced. That was bleeding his AMC business. Now do you get the connect? Anyone who's not able to get the connect, please feel free to ask me.
How does it bleed?
Because this cost of deployment would not include the maintenance that he has to give on those deployment because he never charged separately for it. Right? So deployment का पैसा आ रहा है, service का पैसा नहीं ले रहा है. Sir, first year free service. How many of us do that? I see very few honest people in the room. How many of us do that? I am again asking you. I don't do it anymore. So, alright, so at least a few honest people. Thank you, I am here in August company. And manpower retention. Now what happens when you are deploying, let's say 30 servers a year, like Rakesh was doing? How many of you can afford to have your server engineer leave the company and go elsewhere? You would say, नहीं यार चल 50,000 और देता हूँ, तू रुक यार, तू रुक. उसको दामाद की तरह रखो कि 11 बजे आएगा, 5 बजे जाएगा. You will say, अरे यार बहुत अच्छा किया, thank you. आया तो सही. Experience speaker.
कल भी आना.
The secret of success is to know something nobody else will. Now, Rakesh knew what is the secret, but that was not the secret of his success. That was the secret of his failure. Why he was failing to make money. So what does he do? What does Rakesh do? Like Manish was doing, he was computing his cost of service as the amount of time spent by the engineer at client side, multiplying it by 3, thinking he is making 300% profit, and at the end of it, bleeding his AMC business. Because services still needed to be provided, and there was no payment coming for that from the customer. Manish, is this right? This is what happens? Would happen. So what does Rakesh do? He multiplies it instead of by 3, by 6. He multiplies the cost of the engineer by 6 so that he is safe. He covers the cost of the services that he has to give during the year and makes some decent profit on it. That's what Rakesh did. Vertical analysis of on-call. How many calls did we say he had per month? Anyone remember? 600. True. So that would be 7,200. The actual number of calls was 6,962 the earlier year that Rakesh evolved or started evolving. So if you have total expenses 22,71,167 rupees and you have done 6,962 calls, your cost per call would come to 326 rupees. But, what is a call? Somebody calls you for RIM support, remote infrastructure maintenance support. Not everyone uses, has their own NOC, Network Operations Center. There are people who use, what are the tools? TeamViewer, LogMe. So, that remote support is also the number of calls, right? Whereas on-call services, you have to actually send the person to the client place and solve the thing, because you don't have your pre-configured TeamViewer or something of that sort. And if you solve their problem sitting in your office, वो पैसा नहीं देगा. Simple, वो पैसा नहीं देगा. He will forget. Call report दिखाओ. Where is the call report? You have not done it. So Rembotech was charging end users 400 rupees for a visit and 0 for the second visit. Rakesh क्या सोचता था? My cost of engineer, time of engineer, junior engineer जाता है most of the time customer के पास 175 rupees for one call. Actually, when he counted this, it came to 326 rupees. And if he was charging 400 rupees and doing second calls free, do you think he was making money?
No.
Was he losing money?
Yes.
What about taxes that he would have to pay?
He's bleeding.
Alright, we'll come to FM, facility management. Revenues 4,20,000 of FM. The actual cost of delivering service 4,22,000. This is what he found after doing in-depth analysis. He was losing money. He had to keep a backup engineer every third day. One of the 3 sites used to report emergencies. आज engineer आया नहीं, आपके यहाँ से भेजो किसी को. Back office support. Obviously, when you have somebody being there all the time and the customer is used to having somebody full time, he is going to face problems when you don't send somebody. So you have to do a lot of administration work. You have to prove to the customer that yes, these are the services we have done, because the IT head over there wants to prove कि उसने आपका last पैसा भी sucked out the maximum juice out of you, right? You would also need to administer a lot of things, lot of reports to be sent to these guys. FM, if anyone has done, they will know, there is a part of life for them. And standby spares. You have to keep some spares at the customer location, you have to keep some extra spares at your office. But Rakesh had read this. Talent does what it can and genius does what it must. So what did he do? He increased the pricing next year onwards of FM, where he could cover not only the cost but also these backup costs. Plus he would make a little margin. And yes, for deployment also, like he had said, multiplied by 6, he also started charging for deployment of firewalls, routers, even wireless. I think people actually asked him that, wireless is worth 1,800 rupees. Why are you charging me 1,500 rupees for installation? That's what it is going to cost him. And people started paying that kind of money. For FM, all his customers started paying him that money from second year onwards. They didn't pay him the first year itself, that he demanded that kind of price. But they started paying him from the second year. This is his third year after that. So I do know this for a fact that he is making money even on FM. Rakesh had realized that Rembotech would need to charge more. And like I told you, in 2 years he had achieved that. Now, deep sea efficiency analysis for IT system integrators. Now, this is something which you all should know. And I don't know how many of you guys do this. I learned it from Rakesh, and I actually started using this using Excel sheets. The kind of reports that you would require are, can everybody read this? Cost per customer, per site, per cluster. How many of you know what's a cluster? Cost per cluster. Yes, neighboring area. Let's say, in Parle, Andheri and Santa Cruz, you have X number of customers. You are going to count their cost. The cost of providing service. Then efficiency of resource. Assuming one engineer does 100 calls a month and another does 60 calls a month. You should check that. There could be a genuine reason and there could not be also. Efficiency of management. Can anyone answer me, how do you know the efficiency of management out of these 7 reports that you should have? What is efficiency of management? Anyone? Okay, the amount of time an engineer or a technical resource wasted doing nothing was the time that goes as negative marks in front of the person who's managing those engineers. Give you a small example. A lot of you would have seen this happen in their organizations. The engineer is at VT and he has to go to Ghatkopar, but he has to first come to Villeparle to the office to pick up a crimping tool. And then go from there to Ghatkopar to do 3 crimping. How much time wasted? Entire day wasted. Call kitna register hua? 8. Why couldn't he be given that crimping tool when he was in the office in the morning? When the call was registered 3 days ago? That's what is the efficiency or inefficiency of management. So between the devil and the deep sea.
You mentioned cost per machine separately, cost per user separately.
Yes, okay. Cost per user. Very, very intelligent question. That means, Dhiren, you are my true friend. At least one person is looking very intently and understanding what I am saying. Okay. So, cost per user. How many of you have realized that एक company में 50 machine है, one guy who is using one computer has a lot of problems. Okay, and then he keeps complaining to his boss, crimping, and then boss says, यार एक काम कर तू उसको वो दूसरे computer पे बिठा, I am putting somebody else on. The moment he shifts to that computer starts having all sorts of problems. So there is a difference between per machine and per user. There are some users who are not jinxed, but they know how to jinx that machine. So that's how the difference. Thank you for paying attention.
How do you calculate that?
Sorry?
How do you calculate that?
Yes, okay. Very nice question.
Number of calls.
We have somebody between us who's building a CRM for our industry. He's customizing his CRM for our industry. Limesh, can I ask you to stand up? NJ CRM, we have tied up with NJ, ASIRT has tied up with NJ CRM to create a standard offering customized to the need of our industry, system integrators and service providers, which can be further customized as per your individual requirement. So CRM system is the correct answer, and if you want to do it the way I had to do it for 2 years, because I didn't know Limesh at that time, and the kind of costs that Chetan bhai invested in, kitna 1.5 lakhs for CRM, much more than 1.5 lakhs. So that kind of money I didn't want to spend on services.
Can you go to the previous slide?
Sorry?
Just previous slide.
Yeah. No, you will get this. Don't worry. We'll share it with you. Don't worry. It's not only this, we are also going to share the tools where you can do the calculation in a very raw format. For the actual professional tools, please contact Dinesh. He's got some fantastic offers for us. So you compute it using a CRM and otherwise compute it using Excel. It's not impossible to compute these using Excel. Only thing, you will have to pay personal attention. So that your guys don't ruin the data entry, because junk in, junk out. You can avoid reality. Between the devil and the deep sea, always swear by the deep sea. And this is why. You can avoid reality, but you cannot avoid the consequences. If you don't drive your business, you will be driven out of business. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. How many of you want to see that everyone in the room starts charging enough so that he doesn't have to compete while winning business? How many of you? I want to see that change. All of us. Thank you so much. You deserve to be true asserters. Can it be done? Can it be done? Can I have a show of hands? Can it be done? It can be done. How many of you say it cannot be done? Nobody. Fantastic. So why are you not doing it? Why have you not done it till now? So you are waiting for me to come here and tell you, okay, boss, please earn the money. Did you ask me before getting married?
There is a loss.
Right? So this is not personal. Your money making is not your personal business. That is my business. Let's understand. This can be done. Success or failure in business is caused more by mental attitude. More than capacities. Anyone has a question with this, with regard to this? Anyone has a doubt on this? We have the will. If we have the will, success will follow. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment. डर सबको लगता है, गला सबका सूखता है. डर के आगे जीत है. So courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than fear. What is that something else? Ability to thrive in this industry, ability to make money for yourself, ability to give your employees a better life, ability to give your family a better life, ability to compete with Vinod, who is in US heading a corporation earning $325,000 a year. How many of you say that you have tried this and it has not worked? How many of you want to say that? So nobody has tried it or it hasn't worked? Yes? It hasn't worked. Okay? It hasn't worked.
Simple example, the whole call charges.
Yes.
We increased from maybe 300 to 450.
Yeah.
And customers refused to pay. They said, it's too expensive. We don't need your call.
Okay.
That was risky again.
That was risky again. Okay. So if you knew that the cost of doing a call is 325 rupees, right? And you are continuing to service them at 300 rupees, why service them? Why to go in a negative cash balance? Out of that 325 rupees you make, on that you have to pay 12.36% service tax. That comes to 475 rupees. Sorry, 375 rupees per call. And you are doing that same call at 300 rupees for what?
Sit home and chill. Why service?
डोनेशन देना है तो नीडी को दो, ग्रीडी को मत दो. Failure doesn't mean you are a failure. It just means you haven't succeeded yet. Ravi, this is especially for you. You said it didn't work. Failure. You failed at that point of time. Why not try again? In college life, I don't know whether you had proposed to some girls, but I'm sure if you had, some of them would have told you no.
No girls are
That's true, I suffered from the same. But you could have gone to medical college like I did for flirting.
Anyway, Deva was a region in college.
How fast do you want to do this?
Today.
Yesterday.
Now.
I thought everyone said that I am already doing it. अभी बोल रहे हो कि नहीं कर रहे हैं, कल से शुरू करेंगे, आज से शुरू करेंगे. If you keep waiting for the right time, that time wouldn't come. Had you waited कि ना, I mean मेरे पास गाड़ी होगी, मेरे पास बंगला होगा, मेरे पास बहुत सारे पैसे होंगे, मेरे पास all over the world private jet में घूमने के पैसे होंगे, उसके बाद मैं शादी करूंगा, तो trust me, all of you would have been कमाल till now. You should have, but now it's too late. Unless you want a divorce. You cannot change the destination overnight, but you can change your direction. Can you? You cannot change, I mean tomorrow, like people who said that, I want to start it today. You cannot, you can start it today, you can't reach it today. You try doing it, like Ravi is saying, he is right, he is not wrong. He is not wrong, he is not incorrect. All of us must have faced a situation like it. But then, if you go slowly, it would happen. But trust me, if Rakesh could do it in 2 years, you can do in 1. Because there are a lot of SIs who have started changing. Lot of SIs who have started telling no, we will not do it at this price. Vimesh Avlani, he is not here, but he told one of his customers, somebody called his office, Vimesh bhai to mera dost hai. Tum bech do, itna main nahi dunga, I'll pay you only 300 rupees. Vimesh's assistant or whoever the girl on the desk who was sitting, she said, Vimesh bhai ne bola hai कि जो पैसा देता है अपना चार्जेस के हिसाब से वो दोस्त है, बाकी कोई दोस्त No, seriously, he told me this. If he was here, he would have, been very happy to hear that I have quoted him. So, let's understand you are in business, and you are not in the business of NGO or philanthropy. You have to make money. You have to make money. People have started telling no for services that are not giving them revenues. Don't go from 300 to 450. You could go to 375. That would at least cover your backsides. Right? Otherwise, why do that business? Remove 2 engineers, 2 engineers nikal do, utna overheads kam karo. You are actually going in negative cash flow. Why do that? Swear by the deep sea. How many of you want to swear by the deep sea? Devil? Yeah, swear by the deep sea. How many of you for devil? Everyone was saying known devil is better when I started this. What happened?
You have changed the mind.
I have changed the mind. I'll have to tell my neurosurgeon friend that in case he wants to change the mind, he doesn't have to do a surgery. I'll do it free for him.
Not the free.
Mind cannot be
Yes, they can see the gold.
Everybody will be looking out for an angel.
Okay. So now when you find yourself on the side of majority, it is time to pause and reflect. If the majority is afraid to evolve, people in ASIRT are willing to evolve. You go outside and like you all said, a known devil, work at lower price, आएगा, कभी ना कभी पैसा आएगा, आने वाला आएगा, whatever. ठीक है? So, people who are not in this room do not know this strategy of swearing by the deep sea. They are going to keep on going and embracing their known devil. The devil which is going to bleed them to death one day or force them to join a corporation as an employee. So the majority is the one who's going to continue bleeding. So when you are on the side of majority, it is time to pause and reflect. You have to get away from it. You have to do it just like Rakesh did. He got away from the majority. He decided, I want to charge. I want to charge. How many of you have heard that joke? I mean, God blesses a fisherman. I mean, first time he gives him a, uska, whatever that, hook had fallen. Axe had fallen, yeah. And that axe, God came and gave him, I am giving you a gold axe. So he said, no, this is not mine. Then he came and gave something, a diamond studded axe. This is also not mine. Then he gave his, iron axe which was there. Uske baad kya kiya? I mean, his wife fell off. So what did he do? God came and again, in his own godly manner, he gave him Angelina Jolie.
Who will say no?
He said, yeah, this is mine. This is my wife. This is my wife. Why?
maintenance bhul gaya.
He said it is my wife. Do you think he was comfortable having Angelina Jolie as his wife? No, because the joke says, the joke ahead says that God, if I would have said no, you would have given me all three like you gave me all the three axes.
And he can't afford.
And he can't afford. Right? So the only one he can afford or the only one he is comfortable with is his own wife. Right? So why is your customer who's been with you since 14 years, 10 years, 12 years, 5 years, why would he not be comfortable with you? Why would he get an Angelina Jolie? Angelina Jolie is going to either cost him more or not. You got it. You got it. I didn't have to say it. I was worried, bolna padega. Do or do not. there is no try. Do or do not, there is no try. कल से मैं कोशिश करूंगा, सिर्फ कोशिश ही करोगे, काम नहीं करोगे. And it's kind of fun to do the impossible. So, run for profits now, or else even if you are on the right track, you will get run over if you just sit there. Run or you will be run over.
आज कुछ तूफानी करता है. धड़कन के जोशीले रॉकेट छुड़ा के बोरिंग पे डेयरिंग का जैकेट चढ़ा के आज कुछ तूफानी करते हैं. आज कुछ तूफानी करते हैं.
जोश आया? नहीं आया. खाना खाने के लिए जोश आया. Between the devil and the deep blue sea, swear by the deep sea. Questions and answers. Any questions? Chetan, please come.
I'd like to make a comment before we.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks, Kshitij. Something more deeper that we want to tell you here. We're not talking about raising prices. What we want to tell you is that please go back and do a thorough cost analysis where you apportion your cost to your different business verticals correctly and at least know what everything costs you. Then whether you want to raise costs or not is your problem or your business. What we are saying is, don't get covered under a cloud that I do 20 things and then together the 20 things cost me so much. What Prakash said today, or rather what we want to convey from ASIRT today is, this business with these kind of margins, this business with these kind of challenges, it's not about working hard, it's not about working 7 days a week which is going to make you successful. It's only about working smarter and knowing your finances, knowing where your rupee comes from and where your rupee is going. You're going to decide whether we're going to be in this business the next 5 to 10 years or not. Otherwise, we're still going to be working in the same space for the next 5 to 10 years. So, point is, know your finances really well, because with what we are earning in this industry today, if you are an engineer or if you are somebody who is not sitting on top of your money, then it's just not going to work for us. So, if you are into services, be it AMC, be it FM, whatever, please go back, and the tools that we would be mailing to you sometime in the middle of next week would actually help you to apportion your cost across your different businesses, so that you really know that when I'm taking AMCs, how do we charge for AMCs? Let me ask everybody. Even if nobody is going to give me an answer, I'm going to tell you one simple thing. We take what we get. Market rate AMC का 2000 चल रहा है, 1800 चल रहा है, so we also charge the same thing. We don't even have a clue as to how much does it really cost us. I maintain a few thousand systems. If I have no clue about how much this thing costs me, and I am running into billing of multiple lakhs, I could be an idiot running this business for 20 years now. So go back smarter from this seminar. I'm sure all of you are doing a lot of services billing. Start looking at your verticals with a magnifying glass. Just let me complete, and then we'll have Q&A with Kshitij, not with me.
Why not? Please come.
Alright. So the message is, please go back and do these, use these tools, and actually arrive at what you really are spending on giving these services, and then do your reverse engineering or reverse costing and charge whatever you want. So it's not about ASIRT going and telling, oh, for a PC charge AMC or a typical rate chart. I'm sure you will come to your own rate chart. Once you know what it costs to do whatever you're doing, how much does it take to give a FM service? Possibly, as a CEO or a business owner, you know what it costs. But only when you do what this man did 2 years back, and you want to evolve to the next level. Make sense? So it's not about raising prices, it's about knowing your business. Alright? And then go back and do what it takes to be profitable. Alright? Let's
Continue
have a,
being in business time pass.
okay, now let's have a frank Q&A in terms of what are you really looking at. The tools that we'll give you will basically help you segment all your costs, break them up in a really detailed fashion so that even some of you who have evolved and are doing this, it might be a revelation for you. Okay, the house is open now.